Hi, I'm Axel. I'm building the MoKan lines. And this is my train room. Come on in. So the reason it's called the MoKan lines is that I'm modeling the Kansas City Southern and the Missouri Pacific. This is dated in 1980 to 1984 and takes place in southeast Kansas. Why? Well, it was a good spot where they both met. Now the layout, what I've drawn out so far, shows a yard in here. This is primarily a junction yard. The layout is a junction with two branches. The main line follows this line and goes into this area, which is actually gets hidden, falls down, and eventually makes it to a 5 or 6 yard staging. I think the sixth one is a pass through, and then there's 5 spurs there for staging. The first branch line comes along here to the town of Tabor. There's a spur here for a grain elevator. Probably silos. Thinking about using the Walther's Head House here. Haven't decided. This will come through to what I'm thinking will be a different vignette. I've seen where people are using vignettes. So we have a town here with the height. This will be a vignette to a wheat field. I have a creek through in here with trees on both sides, so then I have yet a different vignette. Goes into a passing siding with a throat track that'll make it back to a spur to a double spur to a coal mining operation, strip mining. There's a lot of strip mining in southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri, around Minden Mines. Kind of doing Minden Mines, but I'm calling Marysville after my wife. Another 2 spurs come down here to a salvage yard and a car builder's. The second spur, or I'm sorry, branch line is actually down, starts in hidden trackage. It follows this line. This comes up to here, and this didn't come out to the way I planned when I drew it. None of this stuff is going to be seen. In fact, all the track coming up here is hidden. I'll have a backdrop going at an angle so that it won't be seen, and then instead of it stopping here, it'll actually come around to an island, to its own town. This town will be Marshall. There'll be a couple of industries here. The other area I have is as I mentioned, the yard of engine servicing, a large engine house, and I haven't fully developed this area, but it's going to be an industrial area. I have a siding here, and then I'm thinking of going through this way to a large flour mill based on the Ross Industries mill in Wichita, Kansas. This will be the first thing you see when you walk in the room coming from this way. So just to give you maybe a little of an idea, this corner here is actually over here, and as I said, it's a mess. I took out the doors to a closet to make my hobby table. That is the corner for the mine. Coming across the wheat field, this will be the town of Tabor. And then back there where that mess is will be the yard. And there's the island. The second level, which will be the town of Marshall. Down below is where I'm starting with the staging. Staging comes around and follows everything back up. I'm using Digitrax DCS 100 and a DB 150. The DCS 100 will be hooked up to this, a PSX 4 circuit breaker module. I've already wired it in, and all this mess will be LEDs showing track availability, track power, and short. I have to make another circuit board, so if you want to see how I did that, I can show you. The second one will be over here. The DCS and the DB will be down here, along with the first DB 168, possibly a DS64. I've already installed 1, 2, and you can't see them, but 4 tortoise switches. Everything will be on tortoise switches. The fascia will have indications of which way a switch is thrown. They'll be controlled by both push button on the fascia and by DCC control. So the main thing we're doing here, at least to help anybody out, is wiring for Digitrax primarily, and how I also wired it with signaling. The signal system is using SIC-24 or SIC-24 cards made by Team Digital, I believe. And well, I think I'm about done now. So tune in, subscribe, leave your comments. Thanks a lot.